Hello everybody, Don't Blink here again with another Battlefield Bad Company 2 Vietnam gameplay commentary for you guys, and today I am playing Rush on Hill 137 as an attacker. I'm using the medic class with the M60 light machine gun as my primary. I'm not going to be talking about the gameplay too much, but I did want to bring you guys a full-length video showing me attacking on this map, because the second base especially is very, very difficult to push through as an attacker. So hopefully those of you who are having difficulty on this map will learn something from this footage. But in the meantime, what I really want to talk about today is my worst roommate ever. A couple days ago, I was on Twitter late at night and I was brainstorming potential commentary topics. And I came up with 4. I put them up on Twitter and I asked you guys to vote for them. The 4 topics were my experiences with depression, my religious beliefs, partying hard, and then finally my worst roommate ever. And worst roommate ever won out over the other 3. So I hope to cover the other 3 topics in the future, but for now, worst roommate ever is the topic at hand. Let me know in the comments below which of the other 3 topics you would like to see next, however. So go ahead and do that for me right now. I'll wait. Okay. So my worst roommate ever, his name was Tremaine, and I lived with him when I went to Swarthmore College out in Pennsylvania, right outside of Philadelphia. And he was my roommate my freshman year at that school. Basically, I told them I was going to be living in the dorms, and what happens is they send you out a little housing survey that asks you some very basic questions about your lifestyle and sleeping habits and what type of music you like to listen to and whether you're clean or filthy. And I filled it out, and I filled it out as honestly as I could. I told them, I'm pretty laid back, I play a lot of video games, I don't party, I don't drink, do drugs or smoke, I go to bed around midnight, yada yada yada. I told them all those things, and I was hopeful that they were going to pair me with someone good, because I had heard a lot of very positive stories about the housing department at that school and about how people get paired with really good freshman roommates. So I didn't really put much thought into it. I expected that they would do a pretty good job, but I was sorely mistaken, because they paired me with someone who probably couldn't have been any more different from me if he had even tried. He was a gay black frat boy swimmer, which means that he and I had absolutely nothing in common other than the fact that we were both living together while going to Swarthmore College. That was just about it in terms of our common interests. So the housing department let me down, and I'll tell you why. Number one, he was filthy. I had a friend on the same hall as me who told me a number of times that he went into the bathroom and he would, be using the urinal, he would go and wash his hands, and all of a sudden my roommate, Tremaine, would bust out of the stall where he had been, I guess, going number 2, and he wouldn't wash his hands. There would be no flushing sound, and my friend Nate, he thought it was so weird that eventually he went and he checked, and he found that this guy didn't even wipe his ass after going poop. He would just go poop, get up off the toilet, and just walk out. Not washing his hands, not wiping, not flushing, nothing. So that gives you a short introduction to what sort of a person this guy was. Some other things he did was, number one, he had all these clothes and all this food, and he never cleaned any of it up. So what ended up happening was we had this huge mountain of clothes in the middle of the room and a bunch of rotting food on the shelves. So he had this trash can that had a top on it, and it was actually an automatic trash can. He would come over, he would wave his hand, and it would open up the top. And after a couple months of us living together, whenever he did that, a big swarm of flies would come flying out of the trash can. That's how filthy he was. We ended up getting cockroaches and rats in our room, and that was bad for the college, just because they ended up having to spend quite a lot of money bringing in exterminators, bringing in rat traps, in order to get rid of the pests that had taken a living in our room. And the rats especially ended up infesting the rest of the entire dorm. I ended up having to deal with quite a few rat traps in some of my neighbors' rooms because of this guy, so definitely not cool. Something else that happened was he was trying to get into one of the fraternities on campus, and there are a lot of drinking games and events and just partying that the pledges have to go through in order to make it into the frats. So one time he got back from a big party or big drinking game that he had to do in order to get into this fraternity, and I could tell he was totally wasted, but he walked right into the room, plopped down on his bed, and fell right asleep. So I was like, cool, don't have to deal with his sorry ass. I can just, let him sleep there, and hopefully he'll wake up sober. But, I kept playing my video games. I was playing Call of Duty 4 at the time, and about 30 minutes after he fell asleep, he woke up, sat up in his bed, moaning, and he looked at me with these totally glazed over eyes, and then he vomited all over himself, all over his bed, all over the floor. And I guess he had had chicken that night, because huge chunks of chicken shot out of his mouth, landed on his chin, landed on the floor right next to my bed. I was terrified that he was gonna get stuff all over my bed and me, because I was sitting on my bed at the time. So that wasn't cool. I have obsessive compulsive tendencies, so I was flipping out. The campus police ended up having to show up and take him down to the medical center. And the only way they were able to do that was threatening him with calling an ambulance, because he was underage at the time, and if an ambulance had come, then they would have had to report it to the police as well. So they got him out of there, but it was pretty nasty. And those are just a few of the stories I have about him. If you'd like to hear more, let me know in the comments. Other than that, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you later. Bye.